We are holding on the bottom of Reish Pei Gimel Amid Aleph. We're in Siman Taf Chav Beis, and we're talking about Yalav Yavai in Shemona Esrei on Rosh Chodesh. So in the beginning of Taf Chav Beis, the Mechaber said that if you neglect to say Yalav Yavai by Ma'ariv, you don't have to repeat Ma'ariv, and we explained the reason for that is because you're not Mekadosh the Chodesh by night, and since you're not Mekadosh the Chodesh by night, somehow the Kedusha of Rosh Chodesh is not really Chal at night. And we said, even if Rosh Chodesh is 2 days, so you might think, what do you mean? It's already Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, let's say, was Sunday and Monday, so it's already Rosh Chodesh. So fine, you're telling me if I didn't say Rosh Chodesh, I didn't say Yalav Yavai, Motzei Shabbos, I don't have to repeat it because the Kedusha of Rosh Chodesh wasn't Chal. But Sunday was already Rosh Chodesh. Sunday night is certainly Rosh Chodesh, so how come I don't have to repeat it? And the answer is because Sunday and Monday are not linked. The only reason we have 2 days Rosh Chodesh is because it's Sveika D'Yoma. It's only because of a suffix. So again, Sunday night, if Sunday was Rosh Chodesh, then Sunday night is nothing, right? If Sunday was not Rosh Chodesh, so then Monday is Rosh Chodesh, and it's not Chal Sunday night. It's not Chal until Monday. So the Kedushas Rosh Chodesh is not really there by night, and that's why you don't repeat it.
You also say that Mara is a Rishis?
That they don't bring down. They don't bring down that svara. Okay, so now we're on the bottom line of Reish Pei Gimel Lavan Aleph. When the Mechaber now is going to talk about Shachris and Mincha. Avalim lo yamarai Shachris and Mincha. Let's say you neglected to say Yalav Yavai by Shachris or Mincha. Machzirin Isai. Then you're going to have to repeat Shemona Esrei. Then you're going to have to go over again. Now, there's a very interesting Mishnah Berurah here. Let's see Mishnah Berurah before we go weiter. Ois Katan Daled. Machzirin Isai. Kasav HaKnesses HaGedolah. The dafka b'shenizkar kaidem shehispal el musaf. This is only true if you realize that you didn't say Yalav Yavai before you david musaf. So it's between Shachris and Musaf. You realize you didn't say Yalav Yavai, then you have to repeat Shemona Esrei. Avalam lo nizkar ad shehispal el musaf. But if you don't remember that you didn't say Yalav Yavai by Shachris until after you david musaf, Yotza b'di'eved, then b'di'eved you're yotza b'mashe hiskir kedushas hayom b'tfilas musaf. You mentioned Yalav Yavai, but not Yalav Yavai. You mentioned Rosh Chodesh by musaf. Since you mentioned Rosh Chodesh by musaf, you're yotza b'di'eved, and you don't have to repeat Shemona Esrei of Shachris. Now we're not going to say this lahalacha. This is the Mishnah Berurah is bringing this down from the Knesset Hagdolah. Ve'ein tzarich lachzor l'spal Shachris, and you don't have to be mispal Shachris again. This is like we say in Kuf Chavav Siv Gimel, b'shliach tzibur lechatchila. By the shliach tzibur, if the shliach tzibur neglects to say Yalav Yavai in his Chazaras Hashatz, he doesn't have to repeat Shemona Esrei over again because he's going to be davening Musaf. Yesh lahakal bazel kol panam b'yachid b'di'eved. So by the shliach tzibur, we're saying mechadnis lechatchila. He didn't say Yalav Yavai by Chazaras Hashatz. We say, don't worry about it because you're going to daven Musaf. Even though you didn't daven Musaf yet, but you're going to daven Musaf, so don't worry about it. You'll make up for it by saying Musaf. That's by the Shliach Tzibur. That's the Chatchila. The Knesset Hagdolah says that by a Yachid, we would say it B'di'eved. B'di'eved, you skipped Yalav Yavai by Shachris, and now it's already after Musaf, so you're already daven Musaf, so the mentioning of Rosh Chodesh by Musaf makes up for the Shachris. B'di'eved. Lechatchila, we would not say that. If you didn't daven Musaf yet, we would say repeat Shemona Esrei. But if you already said Musaf, b'di'eved, the Knesset Hagdolah says we would be saimach on the tefillah of Musaf. Now this is based on a Gemara in Brachos. The Gemara in Brachos says that if you skipped Yalav Yavai, so you have to say Shemona Esrei over again. The Gemara then says, but not by Shachris, because by Shachris you're going to say Musaf. So since you're going to say Musaf, you don't have to say Shemona Esrei over again if you missed it by Shachris. That's what the Gemara says. Then Rabbi Yochanan says, B'tzibur shanu. This is not talking about a Yachid. This is only talking about a Tzibur. Says Rashi, what does that mean, a Tzibur? Rashi says it doesn't mean the Tzibur, it means the Shliach Tzibur. It means that if the Shliach Tzibur skipped the Yalav Yavai, he could rely on Musaf. So at the end, once you have Rabbi Yochanan, it's only talking about the Shliach Tzibur. So that's what the Mishnah Berurah says of it. The Mishnah Berurah says that by the Shliach Tzibur, we're saimach on this even lechatchila, like the Gemara says. The Knesset Hagdolah says, all right, we're saimach on it for the Shliach Tzibur lechatchila, but we would be saimach on it for a Yachid b'di'eved. That's the opinion of the Knesset Agdola. Now, the Mishnah Berurah continues on the third line. V'ha'tikoi b'magen Avram sham b'sif katan gimel. The Magen Avram brings this down in Kuf Chavav over there in Sif Gimel. Aval b'shiure bracha b'shem Arashba kasav to be yachid la'olam chayzer afilu kfar hispal musaf. That they bring down that even after musaf, you would have to repeat Shema Esrei. V'chein hiskim b'sefer maru ketzia. Ella, the kasav to become makkah mishum suffik, since there is a suffik that maybe you were yaitza with musaf, yasne, when you daven over again, you should make a t'nai, dem eino chayiv mispalu b'teres nadava. That if really you're not chayiv to say Shema Esrei over again, because you said Shema Esrei, you said Rish Chodesh and musaf, so then the tefillah that you're repeating should be a tefillah nadava. Achein, im kishayu mispal shalish rishonos, al das lehispal musaf. Let's say you forgot Yalav Yavai and Shachris. Now you go start Shemona Esrei of Musaf. You say the first three brachas of Musaf, having in mind you're davening Musaf. But now Nizkar Shalai Omar Yalav Yavai B'Tfilah Shachris. Now you say, wait a second, you know what? I'm davening Musaf of Rosh Chodesh. I just realized I never said Yalav Yavai. Bevada yesh lahayrosha yisayim atfilah b'shal shachris. You should divert your Shemona Esrei and you should daven the shachris over again. V'achar kach yispal musaf, and then only afterwards should you daven musaf. So here we have, this is a very interesting shita that we're bringing down, the Knesset Agdola, that he says that somehow by a yachid, if you daven musaf, that would make up for the shachris. Now if you turn the page back and you go to the Shar HaTzion, Ois Katan Gimel. It's at the bottom of the first column of the Shar HaTzion. He says over here, L'chayr dafka le'inyin shachris. It would seem that this concept of making up for Yalav Yavai by Musaf exists only by shachris. Aval imispal mincha. But let's say you daven mincha on Rosh Chodesh afternoon. V'lo yihizkir Yalav Yavai, and you didn't say Yalav Yavai. V'hispal achakach Musaf. And then you daven musaf. So you had a funny Rosh Chodesh day. Maybe somebody davened b'yechidus, and he said Yalav Yavai by Shachris, and then he forgot somehow that it's Rosh Chodesh, and he didn't daven musaf, and now it's time for mincha, and he davens mincha, and he forgets to say Yalav Yavai by mincha. Then he remembers, wait a second, today was Rosh Chodesh, I never davened musaf. So now he goes and he davens musaf. And after he davens musaf, he says, wait a second, it's Rosh Chodesh, and I never said Yalav Yavai by mincha. So what happens now? Says the Shar HaTzion, Ein Amoyel Lozeh. The musaf does not help for mincha. It only helps for shachris. Why would that be? So the Shar HaTzion continues, he says, D'iloi tema achi, because if that's not true, if you would tell me that the musaf can help for mincha also, Amai kaimalon de imshachach lahaski Yalav Yavai b'tfilas mincha yazav yisbal. So why do we hold that if you don't say Yalav Yavai by mincha, you have to say it over again? Halay mistama hispal musaf. You daven musaf v'hiskir by kedushas hayom, and when you daven musaf, you mentioned Rosh Chodesh. So the Chavetz Chaim seems to be bothered. He says we're throwing out this concept that musaf could help for shachris. Can musaf help for mincha? If musaf could help for mincha, so then why should you ever have to repeat the Shemona Esrei of mincha? You davened the musaf, so let the musaf cover you for mincha. Achein yesh lidchais, but the Chavetz Chaim says you could be doicha my kasha. This chiras kedushas hayom b'musaf einenu tikun rak amashel kilkel mikoidim v'lo yizker. Maybe you'll tell me that when does musaf help? Musaf only helps if I davened shachris and I forgot Yalav Yavai by shachris, and now I'm davening musaf after shachris, so musaf could be misakin the mistake that I made by shachris. But to say that musaf could help for the mincha that I'm going to daven later, maybe that you don't say. Aval al-mashi yikalkal achar kach, you want musaf to help for mincha that you're going to daven later, that maybe doesn't work. Val kein tzarich iyud. So it's very interesting to me the suffix that the Chavetz Chaim seems to have over here. The Chavetz Chaim has this question. You know, to me, when I first learned this, it was a davar pasha to me that the reason musaf helps is, okay, I goofed by shachris, but now I was misakin it with musaf. But the Chavetz Chaim is not so sure about that. The Chavetz Chaim is throwing out the notion that maybe it's not a question of I made a mistake at 8:30 and I fixed it at 8:45. Maybe it's just that mentioning Rosh Chodesh in Musaf covers my chiyuv to mention Rosh Chodesh in Tefillah. If that's true, so then why doesn't it help for Mincha also? Even though Mincha you daven 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But you mentioned Rosh Chodesh in Musaf, maybe it should cover you for Mincha that you're going to daven later. So he's kind of stuck, and in the end he comes up with this idea that maybe somehow Musaf only covers Shacharis. It doesn't cover Mincha. Why? I don't know. And he doesn't know either. He doesn't say. He says, Valkein Tzarchian. Now the next chart, see a nice cut in Dalit, is also interesting. He says, nearly, Da'af l'deyazu, even according to the Knesset Hagdolah, who says that b'di'evet you daven Musaf, you fixed up Shachris, im ira shehispal mincha mikaydem Musaf, v'hizker yalav yavai. Let's say you davened Shachris, and you didn't say yalav yavai. And then you davened Mincha. And in Mincha, you said yalav yavai. Does Mincha fix Shachris? We said Musaf fixes Shachris. Does Mincha fix Shachris? Says the Sharia, no. Even according to the Knesset Hagdolah, it does not. Ein zeh tikkun l'mashal yihisker b'Shachris. Not saying Yalav Yava by Mincha doesn't cover you for not saying Yalav Yava by Shachris. Even though Musaf would. De'ein lanu ela ma shenemar b'Gemara, because we only have a source for this in that Gemara that I mentioned in Brachos. Shem Musaf hu tikkun l'tefillah Shachris. We have a Gemara that says that Musaf could fix up Shachris, but we don't have that Mincha could fix up Shachris. Valkein, therefore, Yachsav yispal oid tefillah l'tashlumin al Shachris. So you would have to daven a tashlumin for Shachris. V'chein mashma medivrei Arash alois sugi b'brachas ayin sham le'inyan shliach tzibur. And this to me was always what's powerful to me about this Sharat Tzion is that it serves as a reminder that when we work in halacha, sometimes it's very easy to start throwing around svaras. You know, I have a svara that this should work. I have a svara that should work. The Sharat Tzion says over here, you'll throw around the svara, so you'll say, if Musaf could fix up Mincha, so why can't Mincha fix up? If Musaf could fix up Shachris, why can't Mincha be Masakin Shachris? Says the Sharat Tzion, we have to go back to the Gemara. We don't have such a Gemara. We have a Gemara that says Musaf. We don't have a Gemara that says Mincha. What? It would seem not. Yeah, it would seem also not.
But it's such a thing as Tashlumin.
Yeah, Tashlumin.
Next tefillah can make up.
Well, Tashlumin, it's not that the next tefillah is that you're davening an extra tefillah. Yeah, a Tashlumin helps. A Tashlumin is a Tashlumin. Okay. Now, we go weiter in the Mechaber. So we're back on Reish Pei Gimel Amud Aleph.
But there's also sheep that says if you say with the Shliach Tzibur, and you mention to him that he should have in mind that would work also.
So that, we're going to mention that. That's going to come up. The question of listening to the Shliach Tzibur is going to come up.
You have to mention to him that he
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Okay. Continues the Mechaber. V'im nizkar kaidim shehischil moedim. This is a halacha that a lot of people don't know. If you forgot Yalav Yavai, and you remember before you say moedim, so you already said v'sechazena. You said v'sechazena, and now you're about to start bowing down, Yalav Yavai. V'im nizkar kaidim shehischil moedim. If you remember Yalav Yavai before you start saying moedim, Omer b'makom shenizkar. You should say Yalav Yavai right then, over there. Says the Mishnah Berurah is cut in hay. Omer b'makom shenizkar v'achar kach yomer moedim. And then you continue with moedim. V'hainu, and the Chavetz Chaim explains, this means afilu kfar amar v'siyam birkas v'sechazena. This means you already made the bracha of v'sechazena. Still, you could say Yalav Yavai now. V'im lo siyam oid hamachzir rak amar baruch atah Hashem. What happens if you said v'sechazena in Shem Chol Siyam Barachim and Baruch Atah Hashem, and then you realize that you didn't say Yalav Yavai yet? Kasavnu le'el b'simin kuf yud daled sivav b'bir halacha. This is very interesting. The nachon yoser l'sayim lamdeni chukecha. You should say Baruch Atah Hashem. Say lamdeni chukecha. Don't say amachzir shinasa l'siyim. Then say Yalav Yavai, and then say v'sechazena over again. Why? Because you have an interesting opportunity over here. You said Baruch Atah Hashem, At this moment, what are your choices? If you just stop and now say Yalav Yavai, so now you said Hashem Levatala, because you said Baruch Atah Hashem, you said Hashem Levatala. You'll tell me, well, why don't you just say Hamachzir Shchinasei L'Tzion and then say Yalav Yavai? Because we just said you're allowed to say Yalav Yavai between Baruch Atah Hashem and Hamachzir Shchinasei L'Tzion and Maidim. So why don't you just say Yalav Yavai over there? Because then you're not saying it Al Haseder. Really, Chazal said Yalav Yavai belongs in the bracha of Ritzei. So it's true you could be Yotze by saying Yalav Yavai before Maidim, but you're not saying it Al Haseder. So over here, the Bir Halacha gives you a way out. Say Baruch Atah Hashem Lamdeini Chukecha. So you said a pasuk. So it's not a Shem Levatala. Say Yalav Yavai. So now you're saying Yalav Yavai Al Haseder, and then say Baruch Atah Hashem V'Achzir Shchinasei L'Tzion. So what did you do wrong? The only thing that you did wrong was you said the pasuk of Baruch Atah Hashem Lamdeini Chukecha in middle of Shemoneh Esrei, where it really doesn't belong. But that's not such a big deal. So the Bir Halacha comes out better that you should say things Al Haseder the way Chazal, and this also is a potent lesson, by the way, and that is that we have to realize that when we daven Shemoneh Esrei, it's a matbeah shetov l'chachamim. This was put together by Anshe Knesset Hagdolah. If Anshe Knesset Hagdolah said that Yalav Yavai should be in Ritzei, that's not something that we could easily mess around with. It's not easy to just say it before Maidim. But the Evid, you say it before Maidim. And then you say Yalav Yavai, okay. Now the Mechaber goes weiter. We're still on the top line over here. Everything should be good. We're still on the top line over here. Let's say you didn't realize that you forgot Yalav Yavai until after you already started Maidim. So if you remember while you're still davening Shemoneh Esrei, chayzer l'ritzei. Now you go all the way back to Ritzei. And you say Ritzei, Yalav Yavai, Maidim, normal, Al Haseder. If you don't remember Yalav Yavai until after you completed your davening, chayzer l'rosh. Now you have to go back to the beginning of Shemoneh Esrei. Oh, so let's go. Let's see. I was going to stop over here, going to the Mishnah Berurah, but since you mentioned it, let's go weiter in the Mechaber. If you're in the habit, and we certainly are, of saying tachanunim, of saying extra tefillos after the end of Shemoneh Esrei, like we say Elokai Nitzar and Yihiratzain, v'nizkar achar shehishlim tefillasai, kaidem sheyakar raglav, and you remember after you finished Shemoneh Esrei, which the Mishnah Berurah is going to say means after you said the first Yul Ratzain. So you said Baruch Atah Hashem HaMavarech Esam Yisrael B'Shalom Yul Ratzain Rifei V'Gelim L'Vadach Hashem Tzur V'Gali, and now you remember that you didn't say Yalav Yavai, but you still say Elokai Nitzar. So in that case, and the Mechaber says you didn't yet move your feet, which we're going to see is not really the bar. The bar really is, you still intend on saying Elokai Nitzar, chayzer l'ritzei. You still go back to Ritzei. You don't repeat Shemoneh Esrei. It's still considered that you're in the middle of Shemoneh Esrei, so you go back to Ritzei. Okay, let's see the Mishnah Berurah. Ois Katan Vav. This Mishnah Berurah bothers me. I don't understand what the Chavetz Chaim wants with this Mishnah Berurah. Ois Katan Vav. The Mechaber said chayzer l'ritzei. Wherever you remembered Yalav Yavai, you already said Maidim, you already started Maidim. So anywhere between Maidim and the final end of your Shemoneh Esrei, which we're going to say means all the way at the end when you finish the last word and you're not saying anything else anymore, right? Or in our case, since we take 3 steps back by Yisrael Shalom, any point before you took those 3 steps back, right? You go back to Ritzei. Why do you go back to Ritzei? Well, you ask me, I would say the reason you go back to Ritzei is because that's where Yalav Yavai belongs. Yalav Yavai belongs in the bracha of Ritzei, so you go back to Ritzei. Mishnah Berurah says here, nice kind of chayzer l'ritzei, the shalosh acharonos chashuvos ka'achas, because the last 3 brachas are considered like one. I'm struggling with trying to understand what it is that the Mishnah Berurah is trying to tell me. What's he telling me? You see, I would have thought the other way. I would have thought that if you're telling me that the last three brachas are chashuv is kachas, so why don't I just say Yalav Yavah wherever I am?
That's in the middle. That's one.
So, that's where we put Yalav Yavah. You put Yalav Yavah. Well, 1 second. Maidim is Haida and Shalom. The last three brachas of Shemoneh Esrei are Avodah. That's Ritzei, and Haida. Right? No Haidais and Amarach Samay Yisrael Shalom. So if you're telling me that all three of those brachas are one, so why can't I just say Yalav Yavah at any point? Why do I have to go back to the beginning of Ritzei? He seems to be saying, like you're saying, that since Yalav Yavah belongs in the beginning of that bracha, so you go back to the beginning of the unit. Yeah. Okay. What if you don't remember Yalav Yavah until you finish Shemoneh Esrei completely? Says the Mishnah Berurah, what does that mean? Hainu shesiyem birkas sim shalom. You finished the bracha of sim shalom. Va'amar yiyul ratzain, and you said yiyul ratzain. The yiyul ratzain mechlal atfilahu is part of the tefillah. Ukidelael b'simin kuf chav beis sif aleph. So the Mechaber says, if you don't remember until the end of your tefillah, which means after yiyul ratzon, then you repeat Shemoneh Esrei. But v'imhu ragel, if you're ragel to say tachanunim, if you say like we do it, like kind of tsar, so then I was cutting ches. V'imhu ragel, then you don't repeat Shemoneh Esrei until you finish all of the tachanunim. V'imhu ragel, ve'naf gemina bazeh beina ma'amar tachanunim kaidem yiyul ratzon yachi yiyul ratzon. It doesn't matter if you say like kind of tsar after you say yiyul ratzon or before you say yiyul ratzon. We say two. The kol shehu oisek adayin b'tachanunim, as long as you're still being oisek in tefillah, you're still busy with tefillah, you're still saying tachanunim. Oisha adayin tzarich loymar tachanunim, or you didn't even start the tachanunim yet, but you're going to start the tachanunim. So you just said yiyul ratzon v'yivegelimu v'nachas sheb'tzur v'gal. I'm not in the middle of the tachanunim. I didn't start Elakayin Tzar, but it doesn't matter. You're going to say Elakayin Tzar. Loy mikri adayin siluk tefillah. That is not called that you finished davening. You didn't finish davening because you're still saying tachanunim. Now the Mechaber said koidem sheyakar raglov, as long as it's before you moved your feet. Nakad hai lishna. The only reason the Mechaber says koidem sheyakar raglov mishum da Mechaber mayrisha adayin lo yamar tachanunim, because in the Mechaber's case you didn't start Elakayin Tzar yet. Rak the cave of the rogil, since you're used to saying tachanunim, mistama yaska loy megamata. So mistama you're going to start your tachanunim. Aval mikfar omar tachanunim. If you finished your tachanunim, v'siyam oisam, and you're totally completed. Ve'in b'machshavtoi loy maroid, and you're not saying anything anymore. Afilu adayin lo yokar raglov, even if you didn't move your feet yet, kimisha akar dami, it's as if you did v'chayzel l'reish hatfilah. So the point that the Mishnah Berurah seems to be making over here is, don't look at the Mechaber and say that the Mechaber says Kodim Sheyakar Raglov. Oh, so as long as I didn't move my feet, I could always go back to Ritzei. No, that's not true. If you finished all of your tachanunim and you have no das to say anything anymore, now even if you didn't move your feet, your davening is over. You can't go back to Ritzei. You got to repeat Shemoneh Esrei. You see, in our case, it's funny because we don't move we say tachanunim even after we move our feet. We see it, you say yiratzain, but that wouldn't count. That's already after Shemoneh Esrei. That's already, you already move your feet. That's already too late. But his case is you finished everything. You're done. Let's say a case even like this. Let's say you said everything and you didn't take 3 steps back yet because there's somebody behind you davening a long Shemoneh Esrei. So you didn't move your feet yet. But it doesn't matter, you're done, you finished. Now you have to repeat Shemoneh Esrei, if you remember now Yalav Yavah. You finished your tachanunim, so your davening is over. Okay. Yud, we didn't do Yud yet, let's go up to the Ramah. Hagah. V'imu safikim hizker alav. Let's say you have a suffix whether you said Yalav Yavah or not. Right? Did I say Yalav Yavah? Oh, I'm not sure. Ein tzarech lachzor. Now you do not repeat Shemoneh Esrei. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah on this. Ice cut and Yud. Ein tzarech lazar. Why is this true? That if you have a suffix, you don't say Yalav Yavah. Tamai, the reason, the rationale for the Mechaber is Tekevan she'ein oivrin shloishim yoyim she'ein maskirin ba Yalav Yavah. Since you never have a 30-day period when you don't say Yalav Yavai, because Rosh Chodesh is always within 30 days. So at least once in 30 days, you always say Yalav Yavai. Ein zeh chazaka shleima loy ma'asher bevadai loy hizkir. You never have a complete chazaka not to say Yalav Yavai. It's always possible that you said Yalav Yavai, because you still might be used to saying Yalav Yavai, because within 30 days you said Yalav Yavai. So, you have a suffix. I don't know if I said it or not. Okay, there's a good chance to say that you said it. Mishnah Berurah says we don't pass in this way. Almost everybody is chaylik on this. If you have a suffix, you do have to be mispal. You have to repeat Shemona Esrei. The mistama is spal mistama, you said normal Shemona Esrei without Yalav Yavai. Miyu kvar kasav deleil b'simin kuf yudal b'Mishnah Berurah sivkat lam ches b'shem achroinim. Dem boruloi shaya b'daitoi liskar me'ein ha'mu'ura b'seich hatfila. You know, I remember that when I started Shemona Esrei, I said to myself, for Rosh Chodesh, I got to say Yalav Yavai. I know I said that. Ula'achar zman muflag, and now later on, nafal safek b'liboy im zachar b'tfila oiloi. Now, did I say Yalav Yavai Shachris this morning? Sometimes that happens. I've had this. I know at the beginning of Shemona Esrei. Remember, Yalav Yavai. Then I davened, and he said Hal, he davened Musaf, everything. Comes Mincha, the Shatz gives a clap Yalav Yavai. Did I say Yalav Yavai by Shachris this morning? Somehow I remember that I had in mind to say it, but I don't know. Did I really say it or not? Then the Mishnah Berurah says Ein Tzarech Lasa. Then you don't repeat Shemona Esrei, because now it's not just you have a suffix. Did you say it or not? So we say in the stomach you daven the regular Shemona Esrei. Over here we also know that you positively had in mind to say it. So now there's a very good chance that Itaka said it. That's only though if the suffix came after a while. If right after you finish Shemona Esrei, you have a suffix whether or not you said Yalav Yavai, Yesh Lo Lachzor, then you should repeat Shemona Esrei. I've heard Reb Reuven. It's funny because I don't know what to do with it really la halacha, but I remember this one time. The halacha is we're coming up to it that Hamelach Hakadosh, right? Hamelach Hakadosh, you have to repeat Shemona Esrei even misafik, right? Even if you have a suffix, whether you said Hakel Hakadosh or Hamelach Hakadosh, you have to repeat Shemona Esrei. So I remember one person going over to Reb Reuven and saying, I have a suffix, I'm not sure if I said Hakel HaKadosh, if I said Hamelach HaKadosh. In the beginning of Shemona Esrei, I reminded myself to say Hamelach HaKadosh, but I really don't remember. So Reb Reuven asked him, do you know if you said Tekah B'Shofar? So he says, what do you mean? He says, do you know that you said the bracha of Tekah B'Shofar? He's like, what do you mean? I always say it. I know, but do you remember saying it today? You have a suffix if you said Hamelach HaKadosh, Hakel HaKadosh. Hey, were you paying attention to any part of Shemona Esrei? Do you know for sure that you said anything? Maybe you have a suffix. Maybe you said Shemona Esrei over here anyway, because you don't know if you said anything.
That's in the middle of Al Chayna.
Yeah.
And you didn't say Hamelach HaKadosh, so you go back to the beginning, right?
Right.
That's because it's one unit. The three purposes, just like the last three is one unit. Otherwise, he could have done the Ati Kodesh.
Oh, aha.
You go all the way to the beginning.
Well, it's the same halacha. Could be.
The last and the beginning seems to be.
Okay. Now we just finish off the Ramah here. Ushliach tzibur sheshachach malahazkir b'shachris. If the shliach tzibur neglects to say Yalav Yavai by Chazaras Hashatz, Ayin La'el Siman Kuf Chavav Siv Gimel, says the Mishnah Berurah shliach tzibur b'Siman Kuf Chavav d'Sham Avur she'ein tzarich lazar mishum tircha d'tzibura. He doesn't repeat Shemona Esrei because of tircha d'tzibura. V'yesh lo lisbach al tfilas musaf she'ispal v'sham nizkar kedushas hayoim. I assume he means over here that shliach tzibur forgot to say Yalav Yavai in Chazaras Hashatz.
There's at least 9 people there.
Right.
Nobody.
So I'll tell you a crazy. I'll tell you
a
a crazy ma'aseh that happened several years ago when I still was living in Edison. It's a Monday, and right, it was No, it was the other way. It was the other way. It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and the Shliach Tzibur finishes Chazar Hashatz, and he starts V'hurachim. Starts V'hurachim.
On the two.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying.
There's at least 15 people in the minyan. I had to step out in middle of Chazar Hashatz. So I had stepped out in the middle of Chazar Hashatz. I come back in, and I'm thinking they're already up to Ashrei. They're already up to Ashrei Voltzion, and thus I start saying Ashrei, and then I hear Ein Kavaycha. I'm like, what on earth? I go over. I look at the guy next to me. Saying, look, I said, what are you doing? He says, Tachna. I said, it's Tuesday. He said, it's Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Wait a second, it's Tuesday. Stop! What are you doing? Not one person in the room. The shot started the long tachton. Everybody's saying the long tachton. And I don't know. I'm laughing. I don't know what would have happened to me if I would have been in there. Maybe I would have fallen into it also, But I wasn't in the room, we'll stop.
Sometimes you think that, maybe I'm wrong.
Right. So we'll stop here, but I'll just tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you a funny. Reuben always says. It says that when they went to bury Yaakov Avinu, so they went to Maras Machpelah to bury Yaakov Avinu, and Esav came and started arguing with them that there's one spot left in the Maras Machpelah, and he's the Bechar, it should be his. So they told him, no, you sold the Bechar to Yaakov. So he said, prove it. So he said, we have a shtar. So he said, where's the shtar? The shtar is in Mitzrayim. Get the shtar. So he sent Naphtali to go run to Mitzrayim. He gets the shtar. He's chelik on the shtar. Right? What happened? It says that Esau's head is in Maras Machpelah because Chushim ben Dan came and cut his head off. Chushim ben Dan, it says, was deaf. So Reuben asked, is it coincidental that Chushim ben Dan was deaf? Well, the fact that Chushim ben Dan was deaf, does that have to do with the story? Why was it Chushim ben Dan that cut his head off? It wasn't Yehuda. It wasn't any of the Shvatim. It was Chushim ben Dan that cut his head off. Why Chushim ben Dan? So Reuben said, very simple. Very simple. He says like this, Esav comes and he says, it's my spot. So you're not going to cut his head off. You answer him, right? It's not your spot. You sold it. I sold it, prove it. You're going to cut his head off? Yes, prove it. So the answer is, we have a shtar. Okay, you have a shtar, deliver the shtar. The shtar is in Mitzrayim. Okay, I want to see the shtar. All right, so we already told him we have a shtar. He wants to see the shtar. We'll send somebody to go run to Mitzrayim. Chushim ben Dan can't hear any of this. Chushim ben Dan comes over and says, why is the Zayda sitting b'bezayin? We heard about Maras Machpelah. Why is the Zayda sitting b'bezayin? Now Chushim ben Dan is deaf. So they're not going to get into a whole din of dvarim with Chushim ben Dan. So they don't tell him that he's arguing because it is, and he's arguing because it is. They tell him, because of him. So he said, because of him? He took out a sword and he cut his head off. So Reuben said, the problem is that sometimes we get all involved and all in a whole din of dvarim where there isn't even supposed to be a din of dvarim. There's no din of dvarim here. Yaakov Avinu is sitting by Zion. You got to bury Yaakov Avinu. That's it. So you start getting all involved in a machlokes and in a conversation. And there's a time for a conversation and there's time not for a conversation. And he said, really? Yehuda should have done it. Right away. Yehuda should have taken out a sword. Esav is coming and making trouble. You know what Esav is. Esav is making trouble, take out a sword and kill him. That's it. Finished. No, don't mess around.